If you have a Raspberry Pi but don't have a display to attach to it, or maybe you don't have a HDMI cable or a monitor to connect with the Raspberry Pi, so in today's video we're going to check how you can access to Raspberry Pi's GUI with your computer. Let's get started. I have a Raspberry Pi 4 2GB RAM variant and which is already unboxed. So here it is. Today we will not be going to go deep on the specifications, but here are the sockets, the power socket and then two HDMI socket and audio socket. At the front we have 4 USB sockets, out of which 2 are USB 3.0 and also the Ethernet port. At the right we have all the GPIO pins. And very importantly, at the back we have the SD card slot. In this Raspberry Pi, you can use 16GB, 32GB or 64GB variant of SD cards. I'm using 32GB here. Let's quickly unpack it. Before doing OS installation in the SD card, let's check if the Raspberry Pi is okay or not. To check that, I'm going to plug 5V 3A power in the power socket, and after that I'll check if the LED is blinking 5 times at a row without SD card. And if it is blinking like this, that means it is all set to get its first OS installed. Let's quickly move to the Raspberry Pi's website and check the image burner, that is the imager. As per your OS, you can download your version of it. I am downloading Ubuntu. After downloading, click on the installation and it's just simple installation. Once that is done, go ahead and open the imager. Once you open it, it will going to ask you for the OS, but before that, plug your SD card onto the computer as I just did. And after that, we're going to select the OS. In the OS section, there are so many options, but the official option is the Raspberry Pi, the first one. Previously, it was named as Raspbian, but now it is called Raspberry Pi OS. And we are going to select that. And in the SD card, it will definitely going to show our SD card which you just now plugged. Select that and click on write. It will take some time. It will use your internet to download the image of the Raspberry Pi OS and directly put it in your SD card. In the meantime, if you like my work, you can like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now get back to the topic. Once the process is done, it will auto eject the SD card and it will show that you can now remove the SD card from your reader. You can click on continue and close this window. Once this is done, we will replug the SD card on the computer and then you will be able to see 2 drives. One of them is boot. Here we will going to create one file with the name SSH. During boot time, this file will tell the OS that you are SSH enabled now. And after this, we will going to configure one more configuration file to put our Wi-Fi credentials in it. The name of the file is wpa-supplicant.conf. We will open this file in Notepad and after that we will paste the necessary configurations for Wi-Fi. As you can see, here the country code is mandatory. I am in India, so it is in. In Google, you can search what is the Wi-Fi code of your country and you can put that here. And in SSID, I have to put my Wi-Fi name and the password of my Wi-Fi. Once all this done, just save it and we are done with it. It is always a good idea to put the Raspberry Pi in a case. I get this within just $3, so I think it's worth to invest in it. Once the case setup is done and SD card is inside the Raspberry Pi, let's power it on. I think I got super excited. Once the power is on, you can see the green LED blinking and the Raspberry Pi, once it is booted up, it will automatically connect with your Wi-Fi and you will be able to see your IP in the router configurations, as I am able to see it here. Once we have the IP, let's quickly power up the terminal. And once we open the terminal, we have to do SSH on to the Raspberry Pi with the IP and the username is Pi by default. Once you are doing SSH to the Raspberry Pi, it will prompt you that you want to continue or not. Definitely you want to continue. We'll write yes and press enter. After that it will ask for the password, and the default password is raspberry. Once you are inside it, the first command you will going to do is free-h to see how much RAM our Raspberry Pi have. In our case it is 1.9 GB, and out of which 1.5 GB is free, which is, as per my experience, it is really great. Now we're going to configure the VNC service to access the Raspberry Pi GUI from our computer itself. So for that I will issue a command sudo raspi config, and after that this utility will open, and here we will going to go into the interface and we will enable the VNC server. Once the VNC server is enabled, we are good to go. But one more thing we may need to configure, and that is the resolution of the Raspberry Pi display. If we are not setting it, it may happen that while you are viewing the Raspberry Pi in your computer, you will not be able to see it, or maybe in a distorted resolution. So for that I am using a switchable resolution. After that I am going to finish this utility and save it. After this it will ask for to reboot, and definitely we are going to reboot. Once the reboot is done, you will be able to see that Raspberry Pi is again back in the network, and after that we have to install VNC Viewer. Here we have many choices. In my case I am using Linux, so I am downloading it. I also tried the Android one and that is working very fine. Once the download is done, click on the downloaded file and it will ask for the installation. It is pretty standard installation. I am agree to use the software and click OK, and after that, yeah, I got it. I don't want to send you the anonymous information, so I'll uncheck it and got it. Yeah, after that I have to again put the IP over here for VNC connection. In my case it is 192.168.1.11. For your case you can get it from the router configuration itself. Once this is done, click on continue. It will ask for username and password. You know it is Pi and Raspberry as username and the password. Once that is done, click on OK. If you want to save, you can save the password as well, and here we go. Now we will be able to see the Raspberry interface in our computer itself. So for today's video, this is it. Thanks for watching, and I really appreciate your time. If you feel that my work is helping you in some way, and if you want to encourage me, so please subscribe the channel and hit the like button, and also share the video if you can. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.